Money can't buy happiness. We've all heard it. But let's face it, having a safety net does make life a bit more peaceful, doesn't it? Picture this. You're ecstatic after receiving your paycheck. But before you can even celebrate, it's swallowed up by a tsunami of bills, surprise expenses, and those irresistible treat-yourself moments. Does that hit close to home? You're not alone. In fact, 72% of Americans, according to a recent survey, experience this financial stress at least once a month. But what if there was a way to flip the script? A method to put you back in the driver's seat of your financial journey, where your money works for you instead of the other way around. Sounds intriguing, doesn't it? This isn't a pipe dream, but a tried and tested strategy known as the 50-30-20 rule, endorsed by none other than U.S. Senator and financial expert Elizabeth Warren. In this fast-paced, financially demanding world, we're constantly performing a monetary balancing act, stretching each dollar to cover our needs and wants. And despite earning a decent income, we still find ourselves caught in the paycheck-to-paycheck cycle. Now, imagine breaking free from this cycle, regaining control, and steering your financial ship toward stability. Intrigued? By the end of this video, you'll know how to do just that. So, if you're ready to decode the 50-30-20 rule and unlock a new chapter of financial freedom, then stick around. You're in for an enlightening journey. Prepare to redefine your financial destiny. Consider Jane, a friend of mine. Despite earning a healthy income, she always struggled to make ends meet. She'd make a budget only to derail it by life's unpredictable nature. And let's not forget about debt. It was like a dark cloud, always looming over her. This story isn't just Jane's. Millions share it. And then there's the future, that daunting, nebulous entity. As per a report by the Federal Reserve as of 2021, only 36% of non-retired adults think their retirement savings are on track. Are we so caught up in our financial trials that we forget to look ahead? These are the stark realities we face. But there's a beacon of hope amidst this grim landscape. The 50-30-20 rule. This budgeting method is the lifeline many need, steering us toward financial stability and independence. So hold on tight. We're about to embark on an enlightening financial expedition. You see, it's not just about how much you earn, it's about how you manage it. As the renowned investor Warren Buffett once said, "Do not save what is left after spending. Instead, spend what is left after saving." Imagine your income as a well-seasoned steak, each cut serving a different purpose. The 50-30-20 rule is your knife, providing the perfect cut every time. Let's start with the most significant cut, 50%. This represents the necessities of life. We're talking mortgage, rent, utilities, groceries, and necessary transportation. It's the equivalent of your steak's lean muscle, the core of your sustenance. Next, let's move on to the 30%. This is the fat of your steak, making your life more flavorful, but not strictly essential. This slice of your income is meant for your wants. That shiny new car you've been eyeing, those rounds at the pub with your mates, or that dream vacation with the family. The final 20%? It's the bone of your steak, the structure holding everything together. This section goes straight into your savings or towards paying off debts. It's the seed for your future wealth, and let's not forget about life's curveballs. A recent survey by Bankrate showed that only 16% of Americans save more than 15% of their income. But those who follow the 50-30-20 rule, they're comfortably tucking away that crucial 20%. Now I know what you might be thinking. Can I really make this work for me? What if my expenses don't exactly fit these percentages? How do I decide between a want and a need? These questions are normal, and we're going to tackle them head on. So sit tight as we delve deeper into this financial life raft, this tool for achieving a more secure future. It's time to take back control of your hard-earned money and start making it work for you. After all, as Buffett wisely noted, the chains of habit are too light to be felt until they are too heavy to be broken. Let's break those chains together with the 50-30-20 rule. You know, it's one thing to talk about rules and percentages, but we understand that nothing beats seeing it in action. That's why we're going to look at a case study, an actual bloke who used the 50-30-20 rule to take control of his financial future. Let's call him Dave. Dave, a plumber by trade, was living paycheck to paycheck. Like so many of us, he felt his hard-earned wages slipping through his fingers. Bills, groceries, an occasional night out, repairs on the work van. Before he knew it, the month was up, and he was counting the days until the next payday. Sound familiar? It did to me. But then Dave heard about the 50-30-20 rule and figured, what have I got to lose? So he gave it a go. With an average monthly net income of $4,000, here's how he applied the rule. First up, 50% for needs. That's $2,000. It covered his rent, utilities, groceries, gas for the van, and other essentials. Then 30% for wants. $1,200 in Dave's case. That's his pub outings, new tools he fancied for his trade, maybe a football game on the weekend. Finally, 20% for savings or debt repayments. $800 straight into his savings account or chipping away at his existing debts. Dave admitted it wasn't easy initially. Separating wants from needs was tricky. It meant having to pass up the latest iPhone or cutting back on takeaways. But he stayed the course. Fast forward a year. Dave, who had never been much of a saver, was stunned to see he'd stashed away nearly $10,000. That's a tidy sum, enough to cover an emergency or even a down payment on a house. And remember that survey I mentioned earlier? It also found that nearly a quarter of Americans have no emergency savings at all. But Dave, with the 50-30-20 rule, was able to join the ranks of those financially prepared for life's surprises. So there you have it. The 50-30-20 rule, tried and tested by a regular man. But remember, as American entrepreneur Jim Rohn once said, you don't have to make changes. The choice is yours, but so is the outcome. The 50-30-20 rule is your opportunity to make a change for the better. Will you take it? All right, time for some interaction. Are you considering trying the 50-30-20 rule? Some of you are already reaping its benefits. Even the skeptics, we want to hear from you. Kick off a comment below. Share your thoughts, your concerns, and your victories. We're all here to learn, to grow together. So take a brief moment and drop a comment. It's more than just chatter. It's the beginning of a collective journey toward financial freedom. Your insights may be precisely what another viewer needs to hear. Now that we've discussed the ins and outs of the 50-30-20 rule, it's time to revisit its key benefits. This rule is more than just a budgeting tool. It's a compass guiding you towards financial peace and prosperity. Firstly, let's talk about financial clarity. We've all had those sleepless nights wrestling with questions like, am I saving enough? Am I spending too much? Or, where is all my money going? The 50-30-20 rule is like a financial GPS, providing clear direction to your spending and saving habits. You'll know exactly how much of your income goes where. It's like the famous saying by Peter Drucker, a renowned management consultant. What gets measured gets managed. Then there's debt management. We've all heard horror stories about debts spiraling out of control, becoming insurmountable mountains. The 50-30-20 rule allows you to consistently progress towards reducing your debts, transforming those mountains into manageable molehills. Let's remember retirement. It may seem far off for some of us, but it's closer than we think. According to a study by the U.S. Federal Reserve, a third of Americans have no retirement savings. Using the 50-30-20 rule, you're setting aside 20% of your income for savings, which could go towards building your retirement nest egg. As financial guru Sue Zorman says, the goal of retirement is to live off your assets, not on them. Lastly, the rule fosters financial freedom. By diligently following this budgeting rule, you're working towards a future where your finances serve you, not vice versa. The freedom to make choices, not out of financial necessity, but out of desire, is truly empowering. To sum it up, the 50-30-20 rule is a guiding star on your journey toward financial stability. It offers you a sense of control, a clear roadmap, and the assurance of being prepared for future financial goals. It's not just about surviving paycheck to paycheck, but about thriving, growing, and achieving financial independence. It's a tool that, when wielded correctly, can turn your financial dreams into a reality. As we wrap up this journey through the landscape of the 50-30-20 rule, I'd like to direct your attention to another gem, Top 10 Businesses That Never Fail. It's a fantastic follow-up to our conversation today, offering a deep dive into the world of business, revealing sectors that withstand economic shifts, and showcasing those that thrive regardless of the circumstances.